been a little bit since I've made one of these videos, and there's definitely good reason. Our family is in the group who's, trying to think how to say this best. There's a lot of us, our houses burned down. So we were in the group, we were in the Palisades. Our house burned completely. You may or may not know there were a lot of fires during that time. There was the Altadena, Pasadena. I think there was one inland, and there was the Palisades Fire. Palisades Fire and Malibu Fire were kind of the same thing. So yes, we are in the camp of thousands of people who had their home burned down in the Palisades Fire. It's been, what is it? It's been several months, 6 months. Feels like, I don't know, feels short, feels long, depending on the day. I never thought I would be a part of the story of the natural disaster, of all that crazy madness. But here we are. And so one thing I like to do is, there are a lot of misconceptions, bad information out there regarding the fire and insurance and recovery. And I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the perspectives. I mean, we've spoken to a lot of people. Some of us call ourselves the fire people. We are lucky enough to have good insurance. So far, the insurance has been good. We definitely pray for the people who are not having that same experience, because they are out there. There are misconceptions about the cancellations of insurance, and I'm happy to address that. We have found a place to live. That was beyond crazy. I mean, you're trying to evacuate one fire, potentially another fire, and then, the fire moves, so you're evacuating again. You're also trying to stay close so that you can find a place to live. Community was important to us. Anyone familiar with the Palisades could tell you that it's a community like no other. Very close, very close-knit, very friendly, very welcoming. It's a different place. I think there's some saying that's like, if you live in Beverly Hills, you're rich. If you live in Malibu, you're famous. If you live in the Palisades, you're lucky. And it is so, so true. We felt very lucky to live in the Palisades, and we still have a place and a lot in the Palisades. We have reached the point to where we've cleared the lot and we've submitted plans. There's a lot of rules around, and it's California, so there's a lot of rules around like what you can do when you rebuild. You pretty much have to stay the same, and you can go 10% bigger or something like that. But if you make any significant changes, you will not be fast-tracked. And I don't know what fast-tracked means. Is fast-tracked a month? Is it 2 months? We're hearing under 2 months for some, so that's good. But I definitely want to get back to making videos about cameras and my thoughts. And, I'll tell you this crazy story. Whoops, I just realized I dropped my mic. And I'm definitely not re-recording all of this, so we'll just stick with that. Apologies for that. I had a Nikon ZF. This is just a crazy story. I had a Nikon ZF, and I was like, I don't really like it anymore. It's, whatever reason. You know me, I'm buying and selling cameras all the time. And I sold it, I packed it up, had it in the box, ready to ship. And the morning of that fire, I told my boys, hey, if there's a spark because of the wind conditions, potential wind conditions, which, full disclosure, they did not turn out to be unprecedented. They were predictable. They were not unusual for Santa Ana's. Anyway, told my boys I had to pick them up. So I had the Nikon ZF in the box, packed, ready to ship, paid for by the person who bought it. And obviously I chose picking up my boys and getting the dogs out of the house over shipping a camera. So that camera burned down in the fire. I refunded the money, all that fun stuff, but it's interesting. Since then, I've replaced it. I've got this weird feeling, and there's a lot of feelings about, it's like, man, should I have sold that camera? And so thankfully to insurance, I've replaced it. So I don't know where to go from here. But one thing I wanted to address is the Palisades is now open. It's as of Saturday morning, people can just drive through the Palisades, and we as residents don't know what to think, because there's some people living in areas and they're nervous about the security. People are nervous about people on this forum, YouTube, going in and walking on lots and filming and all that. And we want the story to be seen. We want it to be seen, but we just hope that it's done with respect. Please, if you're in that area in the Palisades, if you're visiting, if you're taking photos, any of that stuff, just as a resident and a homeowner, we just ask that you be respectful, as we would it's not just the Palisades, it's anywhere. You know, if someone's community burned down, I went to Altadena and got to see some of that area, and I made sure that I was respectful. I didn't drive fast through the area. I did not go on anyone's lot. And so, trying to think what else I want to cover here. The main thing I want to cover is, if you have any questions about the Palisades Fire that day, the days after, now, insurance, California, ask them. And if the questions are there, I'm happy to make a video and answer those questions from my perspective. Again, my perspective is what I've personally experienced, what our family has experienced, but it does include being around fellow members of the community who have gone through similar and different experiences. So luckily we were able to have our baseball season. A local neighborhood, Cheviot Hills, kind of adopted us, and we're so thankful to them for giving us a baseball season. For in the Palisades, if you know about the Palisades, rec baseball is kind of, I don't know, it's what brings everyone together. It's normalcy, it's fun, it's community, it's all of those things that the Palisades is known for, and how it's so amazing, among others. There's a lot of bad stories. There's definitely a lot of bad stories. We had a neighbor who did not make it. They did not evacuate in time, and they did not make it. There's other stories like that. There's tons of stories. But I just wanted to come here and kind of post a video, and I know no one's like waiting on bated breath for me to make another video, but it's probably been like, hey, I subscribed to this guy for these videos on cameras and tech and all this stuff or whatever, and he hasn't really made a video in a while. So I wanted to do that. And so if you have questions, post them in the comments. I'm happy to answer whatever I can, and I'll be completely honest. But that's it. We are making do. It's been crazy times. You know, I'm trying to keep this video short. So thank you to everyone who's helped during this time. Thank you to the city and the businesses in Los Angeles who were amazing and helpful as we were escaping the fires and evacuating. It's not forgotten. So anyway, hope you have a wonderful day. And again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer what I can. All right, thank you so much. Take care.